Hey guys, Asmogan here. Sorry this homebrew highlight is really short. There wasn't as much info given by the original creator, so I did my best to give it a tad more fluff without adding or changing any details. Hopefully you guys don't mind a shorter episode this time around, and a big thank you to Grimdark Crusader for this submission. Very much appreciated, man, and I hope I do it justice. I did my best. Hopefully it works out. Anyway, please enjoy.
Inquisitor Igiel's Log Entry, 3rd edition. What follows is a detailed but brief account of the Phoenix Knights chapter of Astartes. I was unfortunately unable to stay for as long as is needed to properly document these chapters in the detail I am supposed to. Therefore, I will merely summarize what I was able to learn, and perhaps schedule another visit to that chapter at a later date. That being documented, let us begin. The Phoenix Knights are a fledgling chapter, founded during the Badab War not too long ago in the Imperium's vast history. Hailing from the Red Scorpions chapter, the Phoenix Knights are extremely adept melee fighters that showcase themselves apart from their brothers during the Badab War. The librarian of the chapter tells me that their fighting was described as surgical and precise, and having seen several of them spar, I'd have to say I agree with that assessment. For some undisclosed reason, the Lord High Commander of the Red Scorpions, Karab Kuln, found these warriors in question. I sense the librarian knows more details than these vague half-answers he's providing me on the subject, but I digress. Astartes aren't known to budge easily on minor annoyances, let alone sensitive histories they'd rather not share. I will note it to be followed up upon, but not as a major concern for the Inquisition to execute a full-blown investigation over. The Lord High Commander confronted these warriors after the campaign's climax, and after an extensive discussion, or more apt debate, the Lord High Commander came to the decision that these Astartes were no longer his to command. They were not traitors or potential renegades, merely autonomous and far removed from who the Red Scorpions were. They possessed their own identity. Therefore, in recognition of this, the Lord High Commander allowed them to formulate their own chapter. After their chapter was formulated, the Phoenix Knights took little time to hold on ceremony. They quickly began formulating their own doctrines and systems. Like all successor chapters, these doctrines and systems would be derived from the chapter that birthed them. In this case, the Red Scorpions, of whom are staunch believers in the Emperor's divinity, which is unusual for Astartes, and fierce adherents to the Codex Astartes, even more so than the Ultramarines. The Phoenix Knights are far looser in their adherence to the Codex and their way of life. They seem to be far less stringent than the Red Scorpions are reported to be, though I cannot speak from any direct experience with their founding chapter. The chapter master of the Phoenixes is Constantos Abidia. I believe I have pronounced that correctly. A man I was unable to learn too much about, as I am to be moving on to the next chapter noted as being nearby. This being said, I was able to learn that Abidia wields a custom power sword that mimics the appearance of flames when activated. This has earned it its name, Flame of Purification, a mighty weapon depicted in many of the chapter's iconography. The next thing of note for the chapter would be their homeworld, an unremarkable feral world known as Byzus. Get out of here! Apologies, one of the local fauna decided to try and chew on these paperworks. A strange world with a strange name, and even stranger circumstances, considering it houses a full chapter of Space Marines. From what I gathered from the chapter's librarian, the chapter sees quite a bit of value in this planet, as they see it as the birthplace of their war for purity on behalf of the Imperium and the Emperor. Now, as has been a trend with all of the chapters I have visited as of late, I was unable to narrow down or tally off the number of Space Marines contained within the chapter, though factoring in the chapter's origins and their very apparent adherence to the Codex, I'd safely assume that they are a chapter of no more than 1,000 battle brothers. I would even say they perhaps have less, leaving no reason to flag the chapter as a concern. As I usually do for these chapter logs, I will end this record with a logistical outline of the chapter. Chapter name: Emperor's Phoenixes. War cry: Honor and Purity. Founding: Badab War. 41st Millennium. Primarch: Unknown. Successors of the Red Scorpions. Successor chapters, none. Chapter numbers, 1,000 or less. Chapter master, Constantos Abidia. Homeworld, Byzis, or 28-1. Fortress Monastery, Rylanor, Palace. Colors, purple, gold, and white. Chapter badge, a flaming aquila with lightning bolts off the talons. Allegiance, of course, loyalists. Codex compliance, complete. Preferred tactics, close combat, mutations, none known. Notable campaigns, the Badab War, Indomitus Crusade. Notable figures, none, but the chapter master, of course. Any last notables? Company veterans tend to use Mark IV and Mark VI power armor. The first company Terminator Honor Guard use Tartarus pattern Terminator armor equipped with power spears. The chapter master wields a master-crafted power sword that appears as though it is on fire, and it is called the Flame of Purification. It is here I officially notarize this document on behalf of the Inquisition and stamp down my, Inquisitor Igiel's, seal. End of log entry.
Hey guys, so we're at the segment where I kind of just rattle off my personal thoughts on a submission for the Homebrew highlight, and today's was the Phoenix Knights. I just got done getting everything else ready for the video, so I'm kind of recording this last minute. That being said, though, I'm not in any rush to give off my perspective, but here it goes. I really like the aesthetic of this one. Unfortunately, I can't speak too much to the lore or to the info of the chapter. There wasn't a ton in the entry. They didn't have a huge, big chunk of history to rattle off, which is fine. There's no rule to how little or how much info you need to give me for these homebrew highlights. I can still play around with the information, still work it into a video pretty fluently. Though I probably threw in some word salad to the script. I don't know. To me, I tried to make everything pretty coherent, flow really nice. Hopefully, it's still pretty fluid of an episode. But that being said, the Phoenix Knights, I do like the aesthetic. It reminds me a lot of the Hawk Lords. I like that purple. Purple's one of those colors I actually really enjoy. I like it a lot more. It's like the closest to a blue that I am comfortable getting. Personal thing is my least favorite color, or one of my least favorite colors anyway, is a vibrant or is a pitch blue. I'm just not a fan of that. You could say that adds to my dislike of ultramarines, but I don't know. I hate them enough as it is with their lore and with their Primarchs. So I think their color is just like icing on the cake. With that being said, like I just said, I love purples. I love that vibrancy. I love the reds tinted into the blue to create that purple. I think it's a much better color. A lot of people would say oh, purple's pretty much a blue, especially a darker purple like with the Phoenix Knights here. But I'd say I don't agree with that. I think purple is very definitively its own color that I like. I like it a lot. So I was predisposed to just enjoying the visual of this chapter when I was checking out the sheet, and when I was going over the script and had the picture in my head what they would generally look like. And I do like the color combination, white, purple, and gold. Those are colors that complement each other pretty well, I think. The purple is a very good contrast with those very vibrant, bright colors. So in this case, the example that Grimdark Crusader put together for this, where he drew the purple as the predominant color, I think that's the only way that this color combination would work on the regular. It would be very visually appealing. I think if they were reversed, I think if it was majorly white with purple pauldrons and gold trim, I think that wouldn't work half as well, because I think the colors that always complement each other the most are definitely bright and dark colors, but the monotone colors definitely need to be more predominant because it helps highlight the brighter colors. If the whole piece is more of a brighter color and the monotone colors are the minor color in the piece, I think it just ends up kind of making it's almost annoying to look at. I don't know if anyone else gets that. That's just my personal pet peeve, I guess you could say. Annoyance, pet peeve, whatever you want to call it. But I enjoy the aesthetic here. I like the predominant color. Like I said earlier, kind of reminded me of Hawk Lords a little bit. The symbol, I know that's the symbol of the chapter is derived from something. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. It's in the script too, which is bad, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But I think it looks really nice here. I like that it's like a coat of arms, which fits the motif of knights, Knights of the Round Table, that kind of thing. So having a shield crest with two swords crossed is a nice sigil. I think that looks pretty good, and I think on a banner that would look sexy. That would look really good in a fight, and to see alongside other chapters' banners, that would definitely help them stand out as well as complement others. So I do like that. I also like the chapter motto, which is honor and purity. It's pretty straightforward, and it gets across immediately what these guys prioritize most. They prioritize their honor, which is very much matches the motif of Knights of the Round Table. Honor drives them. Honor is what defines them. It's very much that motif about Knights. And purity, like in this case, purity is often a thing in 40k, with heresy and all this other stuff that goes on. So purity is, especially for a religious chapter, a chapter that sees the God Emperor as a god, purity would be very important. So here it's got the nice knight motif with the honor, and then it's got the purity for like the heresy and all that stuff that goes on in the Imperium. I think it looks pretty cool. I like to picture like what they'd be like on the battlefield, because the surgical precision of their fighting, again, not a lot of detail was given on that in the write-up I was given for their chapter, but I still liked it. I still like to picture it. I allowed my imagination to run wild by what exactly that visual would be, that surgical precision. I kind of get a picture in my mind of like using like a rapier and working around their armor and hitting an enemy in their soft points and being quick and precise jabs and cuts. But it could all, it's harder to see that with a Space Marine because they're bigger and bulkier, but at the same time, I could see it, and I would love it if, I could get a visual of that. But in my head, I had a lot of different, like, I guess you could say, like, little GIFs and animations kind of popping in my head of, like, what that would look like, and I think it's pretty cool. The Flame of Purity that's, like, the one thing I would say I thought was kind of weird, because Power Swords, last I knew, didn't give off an energy like that. Like, it was more electrical, if I recall correctly. So I get though that the point is that it's like a custom, it's unique, it's different. So I'm not contesting that. It's just it's harder for me to like visualize. I think it sounds cool though. I guess I picture it as like Robot Girly Man's his miniature comes with a flaming sword. So I kind of picture it similar to that, more or less. Of course, that sword that he has, though, he stole from the Emperor. So, but let's not get into that. But yeah, overall, I do like the chapter. I do like everything that was presented to me about the Phoenix Knights. My only pet peeve here is that we didn't get more detail. Like, I wasn't given more information about them. I wasn't given a lot more lore and history of them to work with, but that kind of makes sense considering they are a fledgling chapter. They're younger, they're newer, they're less experienced, so there wouldn't be this massive, huge history backboning their chapter. But at the same time, I felt like the details I was presented were kind of loosey goosey. But I still did my best with them. I hope it did justice to Grimdark Crusader's his homebrew. I hope he enjoys the video, and I hope everybody else enjoys it as well. And don't worry, soon we'll open back up submissions so any new people interested in submitting their homebrews for a homebrew highlight. We'll get to I'll open those back up soon. I still want to eat through the rest of these guys. There's 3 more. I believe there's 3 more people in the queue before I'll open back up submissions. But yeah, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name has been Asmogan, and I will see you guys next Sunday for the next Homebrew highlight, next Saturday for the next In the Nutshell, and throughout the week you'll see me in live streams and uploading some fun, interesting videos. See you guys next time. Bye-bye! And for the Imperium, my brothers.